Hello everyone, and welcome to the Commander's Forge. My name is Andy Bentley, and the Forge is an area for me to talk about Magic, Commander, and anything else that I deem necessary. And today, I think the most necessary thing to talk about is to be kind to one another, to help one another, and remember that taking away the rights of people is a very fascist thing to do. I can't speak for how other people feel about what the Supreme Court did. I am mostly just angry. And I know my view on what the Supreme Court did will have ramifications just in my family. But screw them. And they have already expressed an interest, and by them I mean the Supreme Court, in possibly taking away gay marriage and rights there as well. I have family members that are gay. I have friends that are gay. I have friends that are trans. I have friends that are any number of the spectrum of the LGBTQ. So to say I'm angry is an understatement. And the fact that the main thing I've seen from the other side of the aisle is reminding people to go vote. They, over the last 30, 40 years, could have codified those laws. I honestly, to be very blunt, think that the government in America is the stupidest thing. And I'm going to keep this part short because all it's going to do is make me very angry, and I still need to pull myself together to have some semblance of an episode today. So with that, we are going to take a brief break for me to pull myself together, and I will be right back. Hey, I just want to take a minute to tell you about my Patreon. I know times are hard for everybody, and I know it isn't easy to shuffle around bills and stuff. Believe me, I know that. But if you would like to help support the podcast and me, you can find the links to my Patreon in my link tree, which is always put into the description of either the video or the audio, wherever you're listening to it. It would really mean the world to me. Honestly, I'm just struggling to make ends meet most weeks. But that's it. That's all. If you want to help, the links will be where you can find them. And we're back, and I've taken some time to pull myself together to get through this. So the other day, I was thinking about my decks and how I build my decks. And I tend to just kind of go through whatever I have, throw something together, run it a few times, and then if I feel like it's not working the way I wanted it to, I would look into some cards to change it up. And for the most part, I don't really use EDH Rec all that often. I will occasionally if I hit the roadblock of I can't think of any cards right now. And so I thought, well, I don't use EDH Rec. How similar are my decks to their average deck lists? So I am just gonna, over the next few weeks, take a few of my decks and compare and contrast them to the average deck lists that you see on on EDH Rec. Sorry, they use the prices of Card Kingdom. So to start, I went with my Finn the Fangbearer deck. And my Finn the Fangbearer deck comes in at $420.52. And the one that they pulled together through Card Kingdom would cost about $140.91. So yeah, a little bit of a difference there, and I know where a lot of that price difference comes from, but let's get into some of the stats. So in my deck, I am running 35 lands. In theirs, they are running 32. I have 36 ways to make green mana. They have 34 ways to make green mana. They have 5 colorless producers. I have 0 colorless producers. Then my deck has a total of 80 green pips and 95 generic pips. And theirs has 76 green pips and 95 generic pips. Yeah. My average CMC is 2.69, and their average CMC is 2.51. And then to break it down by card costs, both of the deck lists have a range of mana values from 1 to 7. Mine has 21 CMC cards or mana value. I will make that change a lot because I'm so used to CMC. Theirs has 14. For 2 drops, I have 15. They have 26. 3 drops, I have 10. They have 16. 4 drops, I have 10, they have 7. 5 drops, I have 7, they have 3. 6 drops, I have 1, they have 0. And 7 drops, we both have 2. Now, the breakdown of card types. The most notable difference here is that their deck has 1 Planeswalker and 9 artifacts, where mine has none of both of those. Then, looking at our stuff, I have 30 creatures, they have 35. I have 4 enchantments, they have 5. I have 17 instants, they have 8. I have 35 lands, they have 32. I have 13 sorceries, they have 9. In total, between our 2 decks, there are 43 different cards. Notable cards on my side, Protean Hulk, Collected Company, Ronus the Indomitable, Toski Bearer of Secrets, Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. Yeah. Those are kind of like the big heavy hitters, and a lot of those are some of the more expensive cards, which is where a lot of my price is coming from. And then on their side, they have things like Champion of Lamholt, Aranus Gloomstalker, how do I say this? Sereth, the Viper's Fang, Planewide Celebration, Triumph of the Hordes, Bow of Nylea. Yeah. Yes, and I think one of the biggest difference is they lean into some proliferation stuff where I typically don't. So they have things like Contagion Clasp and Karn's Bastion are the 2 like very notable ones. Where mine focuses a little more on +1/+1 counters with stuff like Hardened Scales and Leyline of Abundance. So looking at them, the core theme is still death touch creatures, but theirs is more death touch creatures with proliferation and like unblockable stuff, whereas mine is more hyper focused on death touch creatures and making them large so that they will survive combat. Yeah, I thought this would be an interesting little breakdown, and I don't know if they'll all end up being this way. I might go into a little more detail on some of the next ones. Mostly because this one was just kind of a trial run, and I think next week we're going to be doing my main lady, Linden, the Steadfast Queen. And I have a feeling that her normal deck list is going to be nowhere near mine, because who's crazy enough to play 30 lands in a commander deck? That said, I think this week has been hard enough, and it's not over yet. So I'm just going to call it there, and hope everyone has the best weekend they can, and they stay safe. And we're going to get through this. It's going to get messy, but we're going to get through this. I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening. All of my links can be found in my link tree in the description below. I would like to thank Ian Foss and Cody Mulpey of the band The Crypt for allowing me to use music for my opening and ending, along with Nate and Erica Jacobs for making my original logo. And I would also like to thank Christina McNichol for creating my new logo. And I'll see you next time.